now, let me introduce you to one of the more interesting guests and a newbie to AEA 2014. Mark Lange, Jim Campbell here. How are you?
Thanks, Jim.
First of all, Mark, you've got a company called Aviation Modification Leaders.
Yes.
And outside of the fact that it's not something I want to say 3 times fast.
We go by AML Inc.
There you go, AML Inc. First, why AML? What's the reason for the company?
The reason for the company, what we started out to be originally is not what we are today. We started out to be an engineering design house for customers to come in and offset their original protocols. We end up having to listen to some of our customer comments and some of our feedback, and what we did was we ended up developing products for the customers. When we did that, we actually started developing new and interesting stuff, which we started out with our video scaler. Our video scaler converts composite video to HDMI scaled format. It's not HDMI, but it's scaled, and it allows for non-HD cameras, air show systems, and it allows them to play on new screens in the aircraft. After that, we actually started working on connectivity. We started out with an OM 100, and then we actually started with the OM 200, focused on the 200 because that's what customers were wanting at the time. This year we went back and redesigned the 100, and we actually have a small case sample for it. We actually got it down into this form factor, and then we actually have it as 5 ounces.
My, okay.
So RJ45, Wi-Fi, that's all it does.
Yeah, but you can't get much simpler than that. Excellent.
Right. 8 to 48 volts.
Okay.
And then, that's what we started out to wanting to do, and now this is where we are today.
Okay.
So once we started solving the connectivity issue, then we started looking at how do we make the personal electronic device, the phone, more usable in the aircraft. 2013 saw a great year when the FAA backed off the mandate for phones in the aircraft and activation. So we actually have an inductive wireless charger product we've developed to go into the aircraft. So what we do is we actually enable the phone to sit down, charge without plugging a wire in. And then for the Apple users, we have adapters that we can now let the customer likes his case, he can keep his case. We can actually put this in, allow them to have it, and it actually will charge an Apple product via the inductive system.
Outstanding.
So there you go, that's the nutshell.
Boy, that makes things easy.
Yep.
And let's face it, the less cable clutter in a cockpit, the safer everybody is, not to mention far more convenient.
Yep.
Tell me about the technology behind wireless charging. What does it work on? I mean, if I show up with my Galaxy, if I show up with my iPhone, what do I really need to do to be able to utilize that in the cockpit? Well, or for that matter, the cabin, excuse me.
The actual remote box is installed in the aircraft and allows for the aircraft voltage to be turned over, and what that does is it inductively couples. So we actually have a coil, a transformer couple the aircraft voltage to the phone, and in that we stop charging. The technology allows us to stop charging when the phone reaches 98%. Once we reach 98%, we actually will do maintenance charging. So we'll actually come in and every charge every so often. But the system is capable of charging all products, but the Apple products need to have an adapter. I keep going back to that adapter, but the coil, Samsung has a replacement back. You replace the back and it allows it to be compliant during certain models. We're what we call part of the Power Consortium. We're QI compliant. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's a QI compliancy deal in there. And then that's a patented World Power Consortium technology. And then that allows us to enable the 98% rule. So we don't want to overcharge the phone. The whole point is we don't want to have a lithium-ion overcharging scenario in the aircraft, especially in flight. With that, it's a 2-box system where the remote module charging the phone is one piece, the power controller is the second piece. The power controller allows for the phone to actually offset the surge current. So when each phone is on the charger, when we turn it on, we don't want to have it over voltaging or over currenting the electrical system in the aircraft. So we offset milliseconds each one to turn on, so that way we have more control over the power network inside the aircraft.
Okay.
So is that too much or not enough?
No, actually, you got to remember the audience that we're talking to here is very avionics conversant, wants to know what's going on, and more important, really wants these cabins and these cockpits to have as much functionality as possible, because it's no longer just enough to get to where you need to go. You got to be able to work en route. Right. And this has become such a critical item. You look at today's airplanes are becoming more and more capable, more and more quote unquote wired in or wireless in, as the case may be.
Wireless.
And I'll tell you what, it's been really wild watching the industry try to keep up with this technology and make the solutions not only more convenient but more affordable. Right. And this looks like it's a little bit of both.
We're trying to. The nice thing about the routers, it works with all Wi-Fi enabled devices. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Apple's the only cell phone company or cell phone or PED manufacturer that is not a part of the Power Consortium.
Okay.
So that's why we have to add an adapter. But there's 140 companies that are all part of the World Power Consortium, from Europe with LG, which is this model, Samsung, and Nokia. Actually, Nokia's got a nice device where it lays on the charger and charges, and then it's a remote battery, and you lay your phone on it and it charges the phone after that. So we have absolutely that capability to charge the charger, so to speak.
Excellent. Very good. Now, in regards to the router products, the 200 obviously is a far more capable system. What's involved there? What are you bringing to the game?
Well, the 200 we focused on, it's a bigger unit. It's an industrial PC that's been modified to application for our software and hardware to be put in the aircraft. The 200 actually uses, we're primarily an L-band SATCOM product. We actually streamline, the people don't realize is that internet in our homes is always active, it's hot. Mm-hmm. So you make a request, you get an answer. In an aircraft, it's not that way. We make a request, it goes to another box, it gets converted to a different data format, then it goes over a different network, and then it has to go down to the ground, and then it has to come back that same way. With the router, what we do is we prioritize, all our routers prioritize the data that the customer requests, and then we bring it to fill the data pack better, optimizing it, so that way the customer can get that. Now the 200 is capable of L-band, KU-band. We have tested it with another network that's in the building here that won't like us to say it, but we've done that. The 100 is primarily a nice feature to add on. So if you have coverage issues in the aircraft, for a large cabin aircraft, we can actually keep the initial router on the aircraft, plug in the Ethernet port from the router to this Wi-Fi module router, and put that somewhere else to spread the Wi-Fi signal out throughout the aircraft. So it can also act as a repeater. The software is virtually plug and play in that case. So with that, and then we offer, not on the 100, but we also offer on the 200, acceleration's our base model, but we also offer, what is it? It's acceleration and, I actually have a brain fade. But it's
only happens on live
only
broadcasts.
TV, yeah. But anyway, so the point is compression, that's it. So we put compression on there. So that way the 200, when it does the compression, we actually use different formats. We can still do the expand network with some of the software, and we do the zip link with the other software. And we can pretty much cover at least 75% of all the service providers that way with what's out there today. So SATCOM service and everything else. KU systems, the 200 will automatically work with the KU systems. Doesn't necessarily mean that we need to do a lot of compression and acceleration, but we manage that protocol a lot better for the customer.
Outstanding. We've been spending an awful lot of time within the avionics industry. It's in many cases, I mean, let's face it, there's a couple of 600-pound gorillas out there doing what they do best. But it is an industry that is incredibly inclusive and very welcoming of the innovator, of the small guy who's a great idea, who's not seen it solved elsewhere.
Right.
Innovation welcome here, I guess, would be the best sign you can put at the front of any AEA event. As an innovator, as somebody who's coming into this business, what advice do you have for people that are looking to find ways to build better products for this industry and get their toe in the water?
Wow, that's a great question. The biggest thing is to never give up. If it's your passion, it came out that my original passion was the router, and what actually came out of it is once we solved the router problem, I started working on the inductive wireless charger. Don't give up.
Yeah.
It took 2 years, and two exhausting years, and I actually have what I call a viable product. So don't give up. Just if you love it, you like it, make it your life. Love it.
Outstanding.
AeroTV's coverage of the 57th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Nashville, Tennessee, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors. Aspen Avionics offers the most flexible and affordable certified synthetic vision system. Try it now, absolutely free, during your first 10 hours of flight when you purchase an Aspen Avionics EFD 1000 Pro primary flight display. Customizable display layouts enhance the data you need when you need it. Once you try Aspen's Evolution Synthetic Vision, we think you'll never look at your PFD the same way again. AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com